Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at experience metal orthodontic brackets.
Ooh, these are,
I know, right?
yeah.
They're fascinating, and you provided some really in-depth information about them.
He did.
I'm excited to really get into what makes them unique.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they see they see brackets, they don't really realize what goes into making these things.
Exactly.
The design, the materials, all the tiny details.
Real world. Yeah.
And it makes a big difference
Yeah.
for both the orthodontist, right, the person putting them on, but also the patient.
Right. So, first things first, what exactly are these experience metal brackets? What sets them apart?
Well, they're a specific type of bracket made by this Japanese company, Tommy. And the material you gave me, it really stresses precision and strength as like their big selling points.
Okay, so precision and strength. In orthonomics, I imagine those are pretty important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. You're trying to move teeth with tiny little pieces of metal.
Right.
You need to be precise because you're making these like super fine adjustments to get the bite right, to get the alignment right. And the brackets, those are like the handles, They're
Yeah.
transmitting the force from the arch wire to the tooth. So they got to be strong enough to handle that force and precise enough that, the tooth moves the way we want it to.
And if they're not strong enough or precise enough, what happens then?
Well, you could end up with, unwanted movement. The tooth goes in the wrong direction.
Oh, no.
Or the treatment just takes way longer because things aren't moving as efficiently.
Makes sense. The source material, it talks about the manufacturing process, how they use metal injection molding to make these brackets.
Right.
What is that and why is that significant?
So metal injection molding, it allows for these like really intricate designs.
Hmm.
And the brackets come out much more uniform compared to older methods like casting. It's almost like, if you think about a hand-carved sculpture versus something that's made with a mold.
Okay, I get it. So it's more precise.
Exactly. And on top of that, the slot where the arch wire goes, that's actually machined after the bracket is molded.
Oh, wow.
So you get this incredibly precise fit, and that's critical because that ensures the wire sits exactly how it needs to move the teeth correctly.
So we've got this strength, we've got this precision. How does it translate to a better experience for the person wearing the braces?
Oh, that's a great question. There are a bunch of ways, actually. One of them is this chamfered entrance.
Chamfered entrance.
Yeah, it sounds fancy, right?
It does.
But it's basically just a beveled edge on the bracket.
Okay.
So when the arch wire goes in, it goes in smoothly, doesn't kink, doesn't get caught.
Oh, I see.
This is actually a big deal because with older designs, the ends of the wire could sometimes poke the patient's cheek.
Ouch.
Right. And that's just plain uncomfortable, this chamfered entrance. That helps prevent that from happening.
That makes sense. Now, there's also mention of something called an interactive clip.
Oh, yeah.
What exactly is that, and how does it differ from, a regular clip?
So a normal clip, it just kind of holds the wire in place, right?
Okay.
But this interactive clip, it engages with the shape of the wire. It conforms to it. So you get this much more secure hold, and it helps control the way the tooth moves. Plus, it might even speed up treatment time a bit.
That's pretty cool. The source material also mentions two ways to open the clip, one with a scaler and one with a specialized instrument. Why two different ways?
Well, sometimes it's easier to open the clip from the top of the bracket, and sometimes it's easier from the front.
Oh, okay.
It depends on, where the bracket is in the mouth, the angle, stuff like that. So having these two options gives the orthodontist, more flexibility. It lets them work more efficiently and comfortably.
It seems like they really thought of everything. Now, the material also mentions rounded wings on the brackets. What's the purpose of those?
Comfort, comfort, comfort.
Oh, okay.
Those rounded wings, they're designed to minimize how much the brackets interfere with biting and chewing. You don't want them digging into your cheeks or gums.
Right, of course.
Plus, they provide a good spot for attaching auxiliaries. Those are like little extra pieces that we sometimes use for specific types of tooth movements.
So it's not just about function. It's also about, making the whole experience more bearable for the patient.
Exactly.
And speaking of making the experience more bearable, you mentioned that these brackets also come in a rhodium version.
Oh, yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Well, some folks are, understandably self-conscious about wearing braces.
Sure.
So this rhodium version, it offers a more subtle look. Rhodium is a precious metal, and it has this silver-like finish. So the brackets are less noticeable than the traditional stainless steel ones.
Oh, that's really interesting. Now let's talk about prescriptions. What does it mean for a bracket to have a prescription?
Ah, the prescription. It's kind of like imagine a blueprint for your smile.
Okay.
That's basically what a bracket prescription is.
Mhm.
It's all these specific angles and measurements built into each bracket, and they guide how the tooth moves. And every tooth gets its own unique prescription. It's like a custom roadmap, telling each tooth where to go.
Wow. And how do orthodontists keep track of all these different prescriptions?
Well, each bracket actually has a little colored dot on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the color tells the orthodontist what the prescription is for that bracket. Super handy.
That's so clever.
It is.
And then there's also this thing called Palmer notation, right? That sounds kind of mysterious.
Palmer notation. It might seem like a secret code at first.
It does.
Yeah. But it's really just a system for identifying each tooth. It tells you which quadrant of the mouth the tooth is in and its position from the midline. So it's like a numbering system on a football field, I guess.
Okay.
And this ensures that the right bracket goes on the right tooth according to the treatment plan.
So we've talked about strength, precision, comfort, aesthetics, but what about adhesion? How do they ensure that these brackets actually stay put on the teeth?
So each experienced metal bracket, the base of it is anatomically contoured. So it fits the tooth surface really well.
Okay.
And on top of that, the base it's sandblasted.
And blasted.
Yeah, it creates this rough texture, which actually improves bonding. So you get this super strong, reliable attachment.
Oh.
And that's important because you don't want brackets popping off during treatment.
Right, of course. Finally, the source material mentions GC AutoConnect and Tommy memory shape arch wires.
Ah, yes.
How do those fit into the whole picture?
So GC AutoConnect, that's a special adhesive. It's designed specifically for these experienced metal brackets. It ensures a really strong and lasting bond. And then the memory shape arch wires, those are they're made from this special alloy that remembers its shape.
Okay.
So as the wire warms up in the mouth, it gently applies force to the teeth, guiding them into the right positions.
So it's like they've designed this whole system where all the parts work together perfectly.
Exactly.
Wow. That's it's pretty incredible how much thought and engineering goes into these tiny little brackets.
It's amazing how seemingly minor details can make such a big difference for both the patient and the orthodontist.
It really highlights how orthodontics has come such a long way. It's not just about straightening teeth anymore. It's about creating a healthy, functional smile.
Absolutely.
With as little discomfort as possible.
And making it look good too.
Exactly. So for our listeners out there, next time you see someone with braces, take a closer look, because you might be looking at a tiny little marvel of engineering.
I know, right?
And if you're considering getting orthodontic treatment yourself, advancements like these experienced metal brackets they're making the whole process smoother and more comfortable than ever before.
That's right. It's all about, finding the best solution for your individual needs and goals.
Exactly.
That's what it all comes down to.
And that's a wrap for today's deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.